Since the Fallout 76 beta was available for a few hours last night on Xbox, I got to play around and get a lot of footage. So in this video, I wanted to go over settlement building, or rather camp base building, and talk about the pros and cons that I've gathered in the short amount of time that I had to mess with it. Also, this is me playing the guitar. Yeah, I did this for way too long. As we're leaving Vault 76, we are given a camp. This device pretty much allows you to build anywhere you want to without being restricted to settlements or having to unlock them via quests from this guy.
Another settlement has sent word that they need—
Shut up! I haven't exactly figured out the limitations on placing down your camp, but so far it looks like you can't place it down anywhere that intersects an area that is already on the map, which makes sense. And apparently it doesn't give a shit if you place it down in an enemy spawn point. Go away, you son of a bitch! To use the camp, all you have to do is bring up your Pip-Boy and click LB, or whatever the button is on your platform. You'll see the option for it down here. Now, if you've already placed this down somewhere else, you can move it as often as you like by pressing the same button, and you don't have to go back and pack it up. It will just spawn wherever you are. But it will cost you 5 caps each time you move it, because who doesn't like being nickeled and dimed? Also, when you go to move a camp, all of the objects that you place down will be stored in your workbench, meaning that you can use them again at no additional cost of resources. You do have the option of creating blueprints for your camp, so you don't have to rebuild everything, but I'll get into that more in just a few minutes. So the workshop menu is very different from Fallout 4. Thank God. We no longer have individual tabs for structures, furniture, decorations, or power, so if you need a floor, just go to the floor tab and you will find all the floors and foundations. Same thing goes for the walls, the roofs, the stairs, doors, all of them. So if we're building a floor, we no longer have to go structures, wood, floors, and then, okay, well now I want barn floors. So structures, barn, floors. It's all under the same tab, and it took me no time to adjust to this. As soon as I saw the menu, I already understood where everything was. Now, some objects have variations that you can toggle between by using left and right on the D-pad. So for example, under the wall tab, you have different textures and shapes. Like here is a normal brick wall texture, and you can toggle through the variants to see what is available for this wall type, such as doorways and windows, and you see that they're all the same texture. Now, this is how the majority of the workshop items are set up. Not all of them have variations, but if they do, you will see this option at the bottom. Honestly, we do not have a lot of new items in the workshop menu. I'd say at least 80% of the objects are from the Fallout 4 vanilla workshop menu. At least. It's probably more so around 90%, which kind of sucks, but there are some new options. And you see, for most of these objects, they have some kind of red symbol on them that implies I should go f myself. There are two different ones, the no symbol and the lock symbol. The no symbol simply means the object is available for me to use, but I don't have enough resources like wood or cloth or whatever to build it. The lock symbol means that I can't build it until I have found the corresponding plans that give me access to it. I don't know exactly how the plans work. I have received several of them simply by playing the game and completing quests and events. I don't know if the same plans are given to everyone for the same quest or if it's like a random drop. I'm pretty sure the plans you get from the main quest are the same for everybody, but I don't think that's the case for events. I could be wrong. I've only played for like 3 hours, and most of that was me watching my character play guitar. Now, I get the idea of plans, right? It gives you more incentive to play side quests and events and all of that. And maybe Bethesda doesn't want players to be able to build a massive camp right in the middle of the road right off the bat, so they added in more limitations. But we need to unlock plans for a floor mat. Like, I'm gonna have to go play the game and hope to randomly find plans to show me how to make a rug. What kind of sense does that make? I don't need to learn how to make a mat. I could simply take my shirt off, throw it on the ground, and then boom, there's a floor mat. It's the apocalypse. A shirt could be a floor mat. Don't tell me how to live my life. But since I'm talking about limitations, I might as well continue the bitching part of this video. So Fallout 76 has the same workshop limitations from Fallout 4. Like certain resources, such as a water pump, can only be placed in dirt, objects can't overlap or be hovering, aka you can't place anything anywhere, and most objects won't sink into the ground even if it makes total sense for them to be able to. But wait, there's more! Now we have even more limitations. Look at this. All structures must be built on foundations. That means One, you can't place walls by themselves. They have to be snapped to foundations. And two, they changed what we know as regular floors to upper floors. And you can't place those on the ground. They have to be snapped to stairs that have to be snapped to a foundation. This makes no sense, Bethesda. We no longer have floors. We either have foundations or upper floors. And only foundations can touch the ground. Everything else has to be snapped to it. You know, and this might not seem like a big deal, and at first I didn't think much of it until I started building. I was trying to build a fence, just a fence, around the settlement that I took over, and that was the biggest pain in my ass. I couldn't use a wall because, God forbid, I could only really use these fences. But oh no, don't let them intersect anything because it won't work. Absolutely nothing, not even foundations, could clip through the existing debris. And what makes it so frustrating is that this area is an actual workshop I took over and not just a random place I threw my camp down. So there are some workshop settlements in the game that you can take over, and occasionally you'll have to defend it against waves of enemies or other players. So this whole place was designed to be a workshop, and I can barely place anything down because it won't let objects overlap. Now with Fallout 4, I understood why there were so many limitations and why we didn't have a ton of objects to choose from. Settlement building was a new feature, and I'm sure they didn't want to overwhelm us. So the limitations were more of a way to guide us. But now these limitations, especially the new ones, are completely unnecessary. We have very little control over where and how we can place objects. And it's really frustrating for those of us who want to do way more with settlement building. Bethesda has always prided themselves on how we decide how to play their games, right? We create the path, we choose a story, we can do whatever we want. So why not apply that same approach to building? Like in these games, they make it to where you can walk up to an NPC that they paid someone to do voice acting for and spent God knows how long to write, build, and test an entire quest line around that one NPC. They make it to where you can literally bypass all of that and just kill the guy and get the quest item. But no way in hell are you gonna put that fence too close to that other fence. We're not animals. Okay, that was like 3 solid minutes of me bitching. I just had to get it out. And I know this is the beta, so I'm probably wrong about some of this. I'm being one of those guys who played the game for 3 hours and is already bitching about it. But overall, I did enjoy the game, and I'll do a full review on it once the beta is over and I've had more time to play it. The last thing I want to show you is the blueprint feature. I didn't play around with this too much, but basically we no longer have the select all feature where you hold A on an object and it selects objects close to it to where you can move them all at the same time. Now we have blueprints. So you can hold A and the items that you select will turn purple, and once you've selected all the items that you wanted, you click X and it will prompt you to input a blueprint name, and then a blueprint is created. So then whatever the blueprint consists of can be found in the blueprint tab and be placed down exactly how it was when you created it. It's almost like copy and paste, which is pretty cool. But that's all I have to go over, and again, take this video with a grain of salt because I haven't had a chance to play with camp building too much, so I'm by no means an expert. Right now I see some big pros and big cons, but I'm still excited for it and I can't wait to play it more. It does seem like it's going to be a really great game. Like I said, I'll do a full review on it once I've had a chance to really dive into it, and I will be doing my first live stream the next time the servers are open, so be on the lookout for that. But thanks for watching. I recently updated my Patreon to include more tiers and rewards, so be sure to check it out for more content from me and to get the inside scoop of what I'm working on. I also updated my merch shop with a ton of new designs that I'm really excited for. I'm starting to focus way more on my Patreon and merch shop, so I really hope you guys enjoy it.